Who wants the grand tour? Anybody else? That was a hell of a thing.
Galaxy Quest wasn't really a spoof. It turned out to be the tribute nobody expected. When it initially opened in 1999, fans thought they were going into a silly parody of Star Trek and its followers. But what they received was something smarter, stranger, and most unexpectedly emotional. Behind the Thermians and their childlike trust, behind the hammy costumes and the slaps and pratfalls, the reality was stranger than fantasy. The story was pulled straight from Star Trek's own backstage chaos and convention circuit drama, where aging actors dealt with fans who wouldn't let go of a decades-old series. Critics didn't just laugh at Galaxy Quest, they adored it. Many even ranked it higher than some of sci-fi's most sacred titles. And years later, a reboot was prepared to launch. But after Alan Rickman passed away, nothing felt right anymore. The movie is frozen in history as a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. These are the 20 most bizarre and intriguing facts about Galaxy Quest, and hidden within its last transmission is the cast we nearly had instead of the one we now consider legendary. Strap on your communicator, because this spoof punched more firmly than the original. If this kind of story touches your heart, if you're someone who cares about truth, responsibility, and speaking up for the voiceless, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone who should hear it. Let's get started. Prior to being the family favorite that it's remembered as today, Galaxy Quest was not suitable for children. The original edit was more coarse, darker, and more crude. Tim Allen cursed openly. Sigourney Weaver certainly cursed, infamously uttering an F-bomb during the notorious Chompers corridor scene. You can still spot her lips shape out the word in the final film, but DreamWorks soon covered it up in post-production to maintain a PG rating. Executives were spooked when they realized an R-rated cut would cost them precious holiday box office money, so they hacked, toned down, and recut. What they created was a mess, but it was effective. Rather than being simply another dirty parody, Galaxy Quest became something unusual, a satire with heart. All fans recall the Chompers sequence, the surreal corridor with pounding pistons and bizarre obstacles. Right in the midst of the chaos, Sigourney Weaver's Gwen DeMarco disintegrates and screams. This episode was badly written. It was a flawless moment. It broke the fourth wall, reveled in the campiness of sci-fi television, and provided one of the film's funniest lines. But DreamWorks did not see it. Executives demanded the moment be cut, deeming it too silly, too slapstick, too self-aware. Weaver fought back fiercely. She protested this wasn't just a joke, it was catharsis. It was all actresses trapped saying rubbish in TV scripts, all fans who rolled their eyes at plot devices, all viewers who loved the genre because of its imperfections. Weaver prevailed. The scene remained. Her breakdown became a rallying call, turning satire into tribute. Next came another crucial line. Amidst the booms and spurious sci-fi jargon, Gwen finally loses it. Look, I have one job on this crummy ship. It's silly, but I'm going to do it. Okay. It was a single line, but it became the essence of her character. The studio once more attempted to remove it, deeming that it was too harsh, too incensed, perhaps even too feminist for a mass comedy. But Weaver stood firm. To her, it symbolized every woman in science fiction who was relegated to parroting a computer. That line became legendary, quoted by the fans and recalled as one of the defining scenes of the film. At the same time, Tim Allen himself was faced with a dilemma. On his desk were two scripts, Galaxy Quest and Bicentennial Man, a syrupy Robin Williams vehicle. Any star worth their salt would have picked the Oscar bait. Allen went with the risky spoof of the space genre. He accepted not because it was safer. It wasn't, but because on some level he knew Jason Nesmith, the aging actor desperate to be relevant. It was his career-defining role. Ironically, Galaxy Quest was a blockbuster, while Bicentennial Man tanked. One choice might have salvaged Allen's career, but the film's soul perhaps belonged to Alan Rickman. Under latex prosthetics and an artificial forehead ridge, he transformed Dr. Lazarus into something greater than parody. He treated every line like Shakespeare, never winking or blinking. When his alien character spoke the ridiculous line by Grabthar's hammer, "What a savings!" Rickman delivered it with such conviction that the cast and crew halted. What was intended as a joke momentarily reduced them to tears. He demonstrated that even an impersonator alien was worthy of a genuine performance. A few characters weren't even meant to be. Sam Rockwell's Guy Fleegman started out as a throwaway red shirt with a death warrant. Rockwell improvised it all: the panic, the neurosis, the background story about being crewman number 6. Director Dean Parasot gave him free rein, and a background character became a fan favorite. In the meantime, Tony Shalhoub reconceived his engineer Fred Kwan as being permanently laid back. While the rest of them were freaking out, Kwan glided through every crisis with placid amazement. Along with his tentacled alien girlfriend, he emerged as one of the movie's funniest and most delightful surprises. The younger cast members also left their imprint. Justin Long, who was a Hollywood newbie at the time, edged out more established teen stars by delivering unpolished sincerity in his performance as a fanboy who saves the day. He wasn't an actor playing a geek, he was a geek. That naivety made him unforgettable. Even Tim Allen got lucky with some script revisions. His character never received a solo action scene, but someone figured a captain must have his Kirk-style battle. In the heat of the moment, they created a desert world and a giant boulder creature. The reasoning was ridiculous, but the scene became legendary. The roots of the film were more profound than spoof. Screenwriter David Howard was motivated by the actual challenges of Star Trek veterans, Shatner's ego, Nimoy's insistence, "I am not Spock," bitterness at being stereotyped, and bizarre fan adoration. He inquired, what if the actors truly never left their series? What if fandom was their sole lifeline? The outcome was a movie that did not merely satirize Star Trek, it respected the emotional detritus of cult stardom. The premiere showed that earnestness counted. At sci-fi conventions, cynical fans anticipating mockery instead discovered a love letter. By screening's end, crowds who entered defending Star Trek were on their feet, applauding. Even the actors from Trek were converted. Will Wheaton declared Galaxy Quest did fandom more justice than any official movie. Patrick Stewart bristled initially, but concluded it was brilliant. Leonard Nimoy, William Shatner, and Jonathan Frakes conceded it struck a little too close to home. For years, the movie even outscored all of the Star Trek movies on Rotten Tomatoes, including Wrath of Khan. Even bad guys weren't left behind. Robin Sachs redubbed all of Villain-Saris's lines to make him go from boring to frightening, making the movie have a true threat. The joke was no longer on just the heroes. It was balanced with real danger. The Galaxy Quest universe did not end on screen. The Journey Continues, a mockumentary, premiered as though the show itself were real, tricking all but discerning viewers. IDW Comics subsequently published Galaxy Quest, Global Warning, an official continuation taking up where the film left off. Easter eggs such as Title the Thermians' homeworld, the Klaatu Nebula, in homage to the day the Earth stood still, demonstrated the filmmakers were not satirizing sci-fi as lauding it. At the box office, the movie cleared double its budget, taking in more than $90 million. Not a blockbuster, but sufficient to achieve cult status. In time, its fame only increased. Its fans continued to quote it. It was adopted by conventions. Critics reassessed it as something greater than parody. It was made into something sacred, ironically the most popular Star Trek movies without ever being Star Trek. A sequel almost came together. During the mid-2010s, Amazon greenlit a reboot using the original cast. Scripts were being penned, anticipation was growing. And then Alan Rickman died. The project was dropped. Tim Allen later confessed they couldn't proceed without him. Rickman wasn't only humorous, he was the soul of the film. The ship never set sail again, but maybe that was appropriate. And in one last irony of fate, the film we're familiar with nearly bore little resemblance. Harold Ramis had initially been signed on to direct, and Alec Baldwin was a considered choice for Captain Nesmith, while Steve Martin or Kevin Kline was looked at for Lazarus. That film would have probably skewed further toward parody. Schedules unraveled, Ramis left, and fate provided the ideal cast. Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Alan Rickman, Tony Shalhoub, Sam Rockwell. They made Latex legendary. It began as parody, but it ended up being a classic. Galaxy Quest took the risk to mock fandom, but with respect. It provided has-been actors with one final attempt at greatness. It provided fans with a movie that continues to resonate after decades. Fans still chant, never give up, never surrender. The mission is over, but the story still soars in every fan who believes.